Hi all, welcome to our channel Job Masters. Today we are going to discuss about what are the modules comes under SAP FI. So as per the last session, we have discussed about all the modules comes under SAP FI like general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, asset management module, taxation and cash account, banking. We already discussed about high level overview about this all the submodules. Today we can discuss about what are the topics which we are going to discuss about each module under SAP FI. Let's discuss about general ledger module. In general ledger module, any module we have to discuss about business process, and for as per the business process we can have a baseline configuration and master data, transactional data. Let us come to the baseline configuration. To discuss about baseline configuration, we need to process or perform, we can build enterprise structure in SAP system. So what is the meaning of enterprise structure? Enterprise structure is the organizational framework in SAP which represents how a company is legally and operationally structured in real life. So here we have the contents: define company, define company code, define business areas, assignment of company code to company, assign business area to consolidated business area. So here define company. So what is the meaning of define company? A company represents the legal entity for which financial statements are created in the system. The main purpose of the company to represent the legal organization at group level for consolidation and a legal reporting purpose. This is the purpose to define a company in SAP system. Let's come to the next topic, define company code. So meaning of the define company code. Company code is the smallest organizational unit for which complete financial statements can be generated in SAP system. The main purpose of the company code to record all accounting transactions for the use of balance sheet and P&L statements are generated at company code level. Let's come to the next content. Define business areas. Business areas represents a separate area of operations within a company. The main purpose of business area, internal reporting purpose. Each business area level, how business wants to see their financial statement. Let's come to the next content, assignment of company code to company. This is just assignment. So as we discussed in last session, we can assign if we can have a business in India, if we have a business in UK or USA. So if we are doing the same nature of the business, so all company codes we can assign to a single company for the consolidation reporting purpose at each legal entity level. Example, company code. each company code level, we can see our financial statement such as nothing but balance sheet and P&L account statements. So the next content, assign business area to consolidated business areas. So this is also reporting purpose. We can use this particular step. This is just assignment which we are performing in the SAP system. Let's moving to the next slide. Financial accounting global settings. This is also configuration. Under financial accounting global settings, we need to determine fiscal year variant, assign company code to fiscal year variant, define posting period variant, assign variants to company code, open and close posting periods, document types, posting keys, define field status variant, assign company code to field status variant. These are all the contents and steps which we are going to create under financial accounting global settings in the SAP system. So let's discuss about fiscal year variant. So fiscal year variant defines start and end of the fiscal year. So as per the accounting standards, Indian accounting standards, so our fiscal year start from April to March. That is our fiscal year that we need to define in the SAP system. The purpose of the fiscal year variant, it controls the posting periods. Which period we want it to open, which period we want it to close. We can controls the posting period by using the fiscal year. So here, why we are going to use the fiscal year? For example, if we can have the business in India, UK and USA. So India is following the fiscal year April to March. USA is following the Jan to December as per the calendar year fiscal year. So each country they're following their own fiscal year variants. That fiscal year we can assign to the respective company code for to control the posting periods. Next step, assign company code to fiscal year variant. Once we assign the fiscal year variant to our respective company code, then only it will work. Otherwise, it will not work. This fiscal year variant, all the variants we created at client level that can be applicable for all company codes. Let's moving to the next content, next step. Define posting period variant. So what is the purpose of posting period variant? It controls which periods are open for posting or closed for posting. So if we close the posting period, system will never allow us to post a transaction to the respective period. If we open the period, it will allow us to post a transaction in the respective open period. It purely based on which period we are in. For example, we are in February period. As per the Indian fiscal year, the February period is 11th period. If 11th period open, then system will allow us to post a financial transaction for the 11th period. Here, why we need to control these periods? We can open from 1 to 12 periods in a single time. Why we need to open single periods? The main purpose of to open a single period to restrict the other periods, business user doesn't know about the periods by chance, by mistake, he will suppose to post, he might be posting for incorrect periods. So that is the reason we can control the periods, which period business wants to open to post a financial transactions and which period they wanted to close to restrict to post a financial transactions. That is the purpose of posting period variant. This posting period variant we can create at client level that can be applicable for multiple company codes under the same client. One posting period variant we can assign to the multiple company codes. It's based on the business process. Let's come to the next step. Assign variants to company code. The posting period variant we can assign to the company code. It is just assignment. Open and closed posting periods. So open and close posting periods, as discussed just now, it controls to open the posting periods at each accounting type level. Here accounting type means GL account is one accounting type, material is one accounting type, vendors is one accounting type, customers is one accounting type, assets is one accounting type. Each accounting type level also we controlled and restricted which period business wants to open or close the posting periods. So this particular step, it determines the purpose of which period business wants to open or they wanted to restrict the periods at each accounting type level. So let's come to next step, document types. What is the purpose of document types? It classifies accounting documents. What type of document types? If business wants to post a GL related transactions, we need to determine a separate document type. For example, SA. In SAP, we can have a predefined document types will be available. It depends on the business requirement. We can utilize that predefined document types which is already defined in the SAP. We can use that particular document types. Example, SA document type for GL related transactions posting, and KR vendor invoice related transactions posting, and DR for customer invoice related transactions purpose, and AA for asset related transactions. There are several document types already predefined in the SAP. If business wants to create a new document type, it is possible. We'll be creating a new document type, but first we need to check, we need to make sure whatever the predefined document types that can be suitable for the respective business or not. If it is suitable, we can use the predefined document types for the respective business processes. So let's come to the next step, posting keys. So posting keys, it indicates either debit or credit transactions. So already SAP predefined posting keys are available in the SAP systems. Example, 40 indicates debit GL related line item and 50 is for credit GL credit line item. So the posting keys is nothing but it indicates which line item is debited, which line item is credited by determined by the posting keys. In the SAP system, we can have already SAP predefined posting keys are already available. We can utilize that posting keys. Let's come to the next step, defined field status variant. Field status variant, it controls field appearance. So basically, whenever business wants to post any transactions, to post a transactional data, we required a header level information and line item level information. In header level information, it determines company code, document type, which period we wanted to post, which currency, reference number, header level text. These are all the parameters which can be determined in header level information while posting the transactional data. So this header level information, any field, if we wanted to control whether it is a optional or required or suppress or display, this header level information like reference number, header level text, this information we can control at document type level. And there is a line item level information. In line item level information, we can have a debit line item and credit line item. In line item level, we can have GL account. We must give GL account. Under the GL account, what are the parameters is required? There is a text parameter, whether it is this particular GL account is belongs to salary or rent, or what type of GL account is it. So what type of postings we are posting in the SAP system, that we need to determine in the text column. The text field is a required or optional or suppress or display. It controls by the field status variant. This field status variant we can define at client level. This is also one of the variant principle, same like posting period variant and fiscal year variant. This particular field status variant, it controls what field is required or optional or suppress or display while posting the transactional data in line item level, in debit and credit. So this field status variant we can assign to the company code. This is assignment step. Let's moving to the next step. Define chart of accounts. So define chart of account, it contains the list of GL accounts. Here in SAP, we can have three types of chart of accounts: operational chart of account, group chart of account, country specific chart of account. In operational chart of account, which we can use to post a day-to-day operations related transactional data. For that purpose, we can use the operational chart of account. And group chart of account. Group chart of account, which we can use for the consolidation reporting purpose. For example, we can have a legal entity in India, legal entity in other countries. In such a case, the same group chart of account number, which we can map and we can see our consolidation reporting. So that is the purpose of chart of account. Chart of account also one of the variant principle. We can create it at client level. That same chart of account we can assign to the multiple company codes. Now here, one company code, how many chart of accounts we can assign? We can assign for one company code two chart of accounts. One is operating chart of account, another one is country specific chart of account. For example, if we can have a company code in India, if we can have a company code in USA. So our head office in India. So here, as per our requirement, business requirement, the same operation chart of account which we can follow Indian company code and as well as USA company code. In such a case, the same operation chart of account we can assign to both the company codes. For USA government, they are not allowing the respective operational chart of account related GL accounts. To address that particular country legal requirement, we can maintain the country specific chart of account for the reporting purpose. That particular country reporting purpose, we can assign the country specific chart of account to the respective USA company code. So let's coming to the next step. Assign chart of account to company code. We can assign to our respective company code. Next step, define account groups. Account groups. So here classifies the GL accounts. So what type of GL accounts which we are going to use to post a financial transactions? How we are going to classify whether this particular GL account is belongs to expenditure, this particular GL account is belongs to assets, this particular GL account is belongs to liability or incomes. How do we know that? We need to define that account groups in the SAP system, like expenses, one GL account group, and incomes, assets, liabilities. We can define the GL account groups. It's a based on the business structural level. We need to define this GL account group creations. Separate expenses, capitals, and whatever. It depends on the business requirement which we are going to address in the SAP system. The in-depth information when we are going into the SAP system will discuss in-depth information how we are going to create in the SAP system and how it is going to help us and how we are going to create each GL account based on the account group level. This account groups in additionally it controls the fields while creating the GL master data that we can see in the SAP system. Once we go into the SAP system, we can see that all the information. This is a high level overview. Once we understand this and we'll go into the SAP system. So for the better understanding purpose. So let's moving to the next step. Define retained earnings account. So define retained earnings account. It stores profit and loss at year end. For that purpose, we can use the retained earnings account. So basically, when we are in our educational time, so whatever the net profit or net loss while preparing the P&L statement, whatever we are getting the net loss or net profit, which can be transferred to balance sheet under liability side. So here in SAP, we can address through retained earnings account, which can be storing that respective P&L related loss or profit. So this is year-end closing related to carry forward the balances purpose. That is the purpose of retained earnings account. Let's come to the tolerance groups for GL accounts. Tolerance groups for the GL accounts. The main purpose of limitations of the posting differences, which controls limits of the posting differences. It controls the over postings. For example, business wants to post a 1 lakh rupees in a particular transaction for a particular the respective employee. So we can put here some restrictions that particular business user can post up to 1 lakh. If it is crossing that 1 lakh rupees, SAP system showing the error message. That kind of limits we can control based on this particular step. Tolerance groups for GL accounts. So this is the purpose of tolerance groups for GL account. Each account wise we can control the restrictions, and tolerance groups for employees. Each employee level, as discussed just now, we can control that limits at GL account level and the employee level, and we can control at each accounts payable or accounts receivable level also in customer master customer level, and vendor level. That means accounts payable and accounts receivable. So let's come to the next step. Define settings for ledgers and currency types. So we can have in SAP system, in ECC system, one company code, we can have three currencies. In SAP S4HANA system, one company code, we can use around 10 currencies we can use. So here also we can determine leading ledger and non-leading ledger. So these are all the steps and contents which we are going to discuss in depth in SAP system. So assign accounting principle to ledger groups. Ledger means parallel ledgers, like we have a leading ledger and non-leading ledger concepts. So that ledgers we can map to the accounting principles, in-depth information which we can discuss while performing all the steps in the SAP system. We can discuss all the points. Leading ledger and non-leading ledger, and how are we going to assign leading and non-leading ledger to the respective accounting principles to address that particular country legal requirement purpose. Okay, so let's moving to the next steps. So GL end user transactions. So here basically, so the end user part, the GL creation, if there is a roles and responsibilities. So basically in any project, for master data there is a separate team, and transactional data which will be posting by the business end users. If there is a role and responsibilities given to the business user can also create GL master data, and they will post a transactional data for the respective GL accounts. This is the creation part. And general ledger postings. So the transactional data, for example, in case of salary giving to the employee, the transaction is debit salary and credit cash or bank account. This transactional data which we can post. The similar way we have to discuss so many scenarios in the SAP system. So after posting a transaction, how are we going to change, and how are we going to display mode of the document and balance display? We can see the reports and parking document. So parking document is nothing but temporarily we can save the document. After getting the approval or confirmation from the higher level or superior or supervisor, we can post the original document. So let's moving to the holding document. The holding document, temporarily we can save the document without losing that respective information. Later on, once we receive the information, then we can convert holding document to a original document. So then next, moving to the sample document. So sample document, the main purpose of the sample document. So with reference to one document, we can post another document. Document reversal. If business user to post a incorrect document, so how can we correct? We need to document reversal. There is no deletion concept. We can reversal of that incorrect document. For that purpose, we can use the document reversal. So any incorrect documents, any mistakenly business user post a mistakenly or amount prospective or any field related information. So to post a document, what are the things we required? Header level information we required, and the line item level information we required. So here any of the parameters, any of the data is missed or wrongly posting some amounts. So instead of posting the 1 lakh, a business user is posting 50,000 rupees. It's wrongly posted this transaction. In SAP system, there is no option to delete any transactional data. So SAP recommended always we can reverse the transaction once we post a incorrect data or mistakenly posting by the business user. So that purpose we have to cover this document reversal as well. There is a different steps. So in case of single document, how are we going to reverse the document? In case of Mars, reversal also will be available in the SAP. That also we can utilize that. So let's come to the next step, GL clearing. So we can discuss about GL clearing. There is a two types. One is manual clearing, another one is automatic clearing. Let us take an example. So why do we need to perform GL clearing? For example, if there is any outstanding salaries, that means salary payable. If there is a salary payable, still not yet receive the salary, but if supposed to process a salary, outstanding salaries, how are we going to process this particular steps in SAP? How do we clear the GL balances? So in SAP, we can address this GL clearing by using the manual clearing or automatic clearing. So just now as discussed that example, there is a salary payable. So let's discuss about debit salary payable, credit salary account, and at the time of clearing, and debit salary payable and credit cash or bank account. Here credit and debit, the salary payable account will be knocked off, and finally we will get the debit salary and credit cash or bank account. This particular entry will be updated in the SAP level. So let's come to the next step. In automatic clearing, manual clearing and automatic clearing, the same process will be applicable. Automatic clearing, what is the base we are going to clear the transactions? For example, as discussed now, initially we have processed debit salary and credit salary payable, and debit salary payable and credit cash or bank account. The salary payable will nullified automatically when we perform the automatic clearing transactions. There is a particular transaction code which we can use to nullify the respective balances automatically, the respective transaction. In the SAP in-depth information, we can perform each step by step in SAP and will discuss and will show you the results in the SAP system. This is the high level overview to understand about manual clearing and automatic clearing. This is one of the example. Debit salary and credit salary payable. Salary payable is the open item management nature to nullify, to knock off that particular balance. And later on, once we clear that particular balances, whatever the outstanding salaries, the entry will be created against that respective entry, debit salary payable and credit cash or bank account. This automatic clearing will be happened based on rules, clearing rules based on assignment number or reference number or purchase order number or whatever it might be. We have to define a clearing rules in the SAP system. It will be a configuration. So all the information we will see in the SAP system. Let's moving to the next step, recurring documents. So in recurring documents, where business wants to post a repetitively any of the transaction. For example, salary, every month business wants to post a transaction, and electricity bill and rents. These are all the transactions which business wants to post a repetitively. In such a case, we can utilize the recurring documents, and every month we can post the respective repetitive documents. So why do we require? We can post directly. Why we are going to use the recurring documents? Here the main purpose of we are using the recurring documents to reduce the timelines. We reduce the resource manpower, and we can easily post n number of documents in every month by using the recurring documents. So let's moving to the next slide. So do you have any questions? So now we are going to discuss about what are the topics which we are going to discuss at general ledger level and accounts payable and accounts receivable and asset management module and taxation and banking and cash account. So now we discussed about all the topics under general ledger accounting. So the next coming session we have to discuss what are the concepts which comes under the respective accounts payable subledger module and accounts receivable subledger module. So first we are going to discuss about high level overview. What are the topics we are going to cover in our SAP FI concepts, FI module concepts. So then we'll go to the SAP system and we'll show you all the step-by-step details in the SAP system. We're looking for in-depth job-focused IT training. Please reach out to JOBMASTERS Technologies and take the next step in your career. If you found this video useful, please like, share, subscribe to our channel.